What is going on, guys? Welcome to your 12th PHP tutorial, and in this lesson what we're going to be doing is testing and debugging our program. Now before I want to start, I want to mention this. Whenever you download, or excuse me, whenever you create a program like this that does something like downloads a bunch of files or data, say the stock data for the last 5 years we want our final program to do. Whenever we first test it, we don't want to download all that information because for testing purposes we only need maybe 10 rows or maybe the last month or something. So we don't want to just hop right into downloading 10 years of data before we even know if the program works. So what I did is I changed the date to December 19th 2011. That gives me about 2 weeks. So eventually whenever I run this program, I want to run it through like 10 or 5 years of data, but just for testing purposes I just want to mention that I changed the date. And also I noticed that I used the wrong ticker for Apple, so I changed my tickers a little bit. I have Yahoo, Ford, Netflix, Adobe, and GE. So, those are just some minor changes I made and some minor tips that I wanted to give you. So, in order to upload it to your server, first, please make sure that you have this text files directory or folder. Now it's going to be empty by default, and in order to create one, just go ahead and right click and hit create directory. And that is because, remember, in our last little function on our main, what we did is we saved all of these text files in a folder called text files. So we need to make sure that we have that folder so our server knows where to store the files. So now let me just go ahead and refresh this, make sure everything is saved, and now that it is, I'm just going to go ahead and highlight all that crap and hit enter, and it should be good to go. So everything was transferred successfully, and again, look, nothing is in my text files right now, but hopefully that's about to change. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Danielle1986.org, and I'm going to go ahead and hit the stock downloader.php. Now whenever I do, it's going to run this script, which basically creates that CSV file, dumps all the data into our database. So go ahead and hit it, and it's going to say waiting, waiting, and now my page is done loading, and we see nothing at all. So you're saying, oh crap, Bucky, you messed up something. Let's go look at the code, see what you did wrong. Actually, this is good. We don't have any echo statements or any outputs to verify our success. We probably should have one right after this. But anyways, if we don't see any messages, that means we don't have any error messages. That's another thing. I didn't suppress any of the error messages, so not seeing anything is a good thing. So we don't see anything, so how do we know if our program worked? Well, we have to go by and kind of check each step by step. So the first thing it did was it created a URL for each company, and it downloaded the CSV file, and it converted those files into a text file. So let's see what companies we're working with. Yahoo, Ford, Netflix, Adobe, and GE. So the first thing we want to make sure is, do these companies have text files on our server? So let's look at our server, text files, and refresh this. And oh yeah, Adobe, Ford, GE, Netflix, and Yahoo. Another thing I do is I look at the file size. If you messed up, sometimes your file size will be 0, and that means it downloaded it and saved it as a text file, but you have no data. So as of now, we have 5 text files, and they all have some data in them. Perfect. Now what I want to do is, remember, after we have those text files, what we wanted to do was pretty much take the information from them and insert it into our database. So I'm going to hop over to my cPanel, hit PHP my admin, and I'm going to go to my database, which is YouTube, and check it out. If I look at each company, Adobe, Ford, GE, Netflix, Yahoo, first of all, tables were created, and we didn't do that, so our program successfully created tables. And it also, if you look at the rows and the size, it has information in them. So let's go ahead and click on Netflix or something, and oh my, that looks freaking beautiful. It looks like everything turned out to be alright. So remember, we took all of the data from, let's see what it was, December 19th 2011 until the current day. So if we go ahead and look at our final product, the database, it took all the information from December 19th and made it until the current day. And remember, it was New Year's Eve and New Year's, so, and then a weekend. Tomorrow's Monday, So, they don't trade stocks on the weekend or on holiday. So that's why we don't have 1 3 12 because uh, how can I say this? The last 2 days they haven't been trading, and today the stock market hasn't opened yet. So, anyways, aside from that, it looks like everything is working out perfectly. Again, with the amount change, this is the dollar amount, the stock change, and the percent change. Remember, I times these by 100 already, so this is 1/4%. This went down this day a little over 2%. This went up almost 4%, which is really good. So, if you see small numbers like this, I want to tell you guys that this is indeed the percentage, even though it's a small percent. So there we go. Not too much debugging to do. Not for a pro programmer like myself. Thank you very much. And in the next tutorials, what we're going to be doing is now that we have the data in the database, we can begin writing our own custom formulas to go through historically and see what formulas work, which were good indicators of determining when the stock's going to go up and down, so on and so forth. So it's going to be amazing. I am super excited for it. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.